Hey there, everybody. Michael Bolton III here with Lazarus Tellraven on the 6th day of Alliance Tournament 10. We have a great match for you here. Percussive Pizza Time Diplomacy versus Shadow Cartel. Why don't you tell us a little bit about these teams, Lazarus Tellraven?
We actually have a very interesting setup here. We have a Kite Tangu team from Shadow Cartel, because we all know they went balls to the wall DPS last time. They're going to change it up, go try to stay away from the DPS this time, versus a 3 Proteus Vindicator type of team. I mean, it's going to be lots of blaster damage. They're going to try to get on top of these Tengus and web them down. I mean, these Tengus are going to have to stay out of range. Like we've been saying, the entire tournament, the arena is a little bit smaller, 125 kilometer radius on each side, so they're going to have to be very conscious of the edge of glory.
Yeah, very true. We have lost a lot of ships to CCP Streaks, a big red button which he loves pressing so much, and the match has begun. Now we have to get those Tengus are going to burn as fast as they can, try and split up, make sure that they can split up these Proteus as well. But if there's one thing that I would be scared of, it is a Proteus. They have that scram bonus. Do you know if these are micro warp driving or afterburning Tengus?
I have not checked, but I will look now. We are seeing some tracking disruptors on the Tengus, which isn't going to help them that much as we are firing missiles here.
Yeah, you can see the power of the damps on those Tengus, likely sacrificing some tank. Also the Sentinels in there doing their E-War best, as well as the carries with its damps.
Yep.
These Ishkers are going to be great for all the ECM drones they can apply, but we don't, or drones of any sort that they can apply. We already have web and scram on 2 Tangos. This is bad news.
The scram won't matter as much as they are afterburning Tengus, but the web on these Tengus is tremendous. I mean, they should have been able to get the range pretty quickly. I mean, they are using 100 min afterburners. They were going about 2,300 meters a second, but I just don't understand why they were able to get caught so quickly.
Yeah, no. Especially with these well, the problem is the damps on these Enyos and Ishkers and Proteus are not really as big. They're kind of big on the Vindicator, preventing the long range, the strength of that web from hitting. But we already see newts being applied to these Tengus. We'll have to see how strong their tanks are. At the same time, a Sentinel briefly brought into armor, but sort of left alone at this point. Now, it is important to note that neither of these teams have a logistics ship on their side. We see an NU going down for 2 NUs already down for Percussive Pizza Time Diplomacy.
Yeah, they're really trying to get these assault frigates down because the assault frigates are able to keep up with the Tengus. The Vindicator actually isn't really into the fight yet. He's trying to slowly burn into range.
Yep, we have a Tangu about to drop. He is about to into armor. By the way, that Ishkar that just dropped for Shadow Cartel was lost to a boundary violation. CCP Streaks big guard button. Another Ishkar in low structure from the Percussive Pizza Time Diplomacy team.
Yep. So we're down to 3 Tengus. 3 Tengus left for the Shadow Cartel. If they can keep range, get away from these webs, I mean, they're going to be in much better position. I mean, that first Tengu is going to really hurt, but since both teams don't have logistics unless they're getting reps from one of these Proteuses, the last few ships for Percussive Pizza Time Diplomacy are going to drop in quick succession.
Even though Percussive Pizza Time Diplomacy is in the lead right now, I actually like Shadow Cartel's position a little bit more. They're losing all those assault frigates, which are their tackle in that team. With only the Proteus and the Vindicators armor fit, we will see the Tengus with their superior speed and afterburners zipping around and kiting them. It all comes down to pilot skill on these 2 teams.
Yeah, I mean, they get the Sentinels, so they get the target painters. I mean, they actually have a pretty good setup here with the Sentinels and carries for dams. And like the assault frigates have been extremely strong throughout the tournament, but as long as these Tengus can stay out of range of that Vindicator, which is slow and can't keep up with these 100 afterburners, they should be okay.
With their last Ishkar about to drop, Percussive Pizza Time Diplomacy is in a real pickle here. They're going to have to chase down this stuff with Proteus and Vindicators, and that's just not a great position to be in. You want your assault frigates with their high DPS, with all their utility tackle, and with their speed to be able to catch these Tangus, especially with these Ishkars on the field as well, to run point for these cutting Tangus. This Tangu is in low armor and about to drop. That's actually a really huge deal.
Yeah, he's got that web on him from the Vindicator, 9% web, and he's just dead in the water with that web on him. I mean, he did go down. It looks like they had another web on the Tengu. I mean, that was really quick to get that web.
Yeah, I think that Shadow Cartel might just not be piloting well enough. Perhaps their skill approach and damage from yesterday's matches are not quite being applied in the same way to this match.
Yeah, I mean, there had to be some overheating from that Vindicator. Then those blaster boats are right on top of that Tengu again. I mean, this Tengu is going to drop pretty quickly, and I thought Shadow Cartel had this match. I mean, it was going so well getting those assault frigates down, but they weren't able to stay far enough away from each other that they were balled up in that as a group in Tengus when they should have been burning in separate directions.
Yeah, no, it's very rough for them. They lose the carries there. with these Sentinels and Ishkars, I feel like if they were able to like get a jam off on the Vindicator, if they had packed ECM drones, which they did not, I do not believe. Could you check that for me? Also, the Tangu about to drop out of shields. Once it enters into armor, it's going to fall exceptionally quickly to the high DPS of these 3 Proteus and Vindicator.
I mean, we have no ECM drones on the field. There's nothing but warriors on the field right now. I mean, that's...
Yeah, I don't like that from the
Ishkars, you have all that drone bay that you don't need the DPS from the Ishkars when it comes to the kiting Tingus. The kiting Tingus are your DPS. They should be picking off the targets while your Ishkars are just used there to supplement them with utility.
Very true, and with only 1 Tangu left on the field, I don't know if they have the damage to take down... They certainly don't have the damage to take down 2 Proteus and a Vindicator, especially with the protective envelope of the Vindicator's webs.
Yep, the Cat Cassidy and his Proteus is entering structure. He's taking huge chunks. I'm not sure if he doesn't look like he has a damage control. So you just see him up, and there he goes. He's popped.
Yep.
So
you can see the power, the anti-frig power of these Ishkars taking out all those assault frigates, but you just don't see the power from the Tangus. I actually really do not like Tangus in the tournament. I feel like they take too much piloting skill, and even with very high levels of piloting skill, it's still a gamble whether you get caught or not.
Yeah, I mean, if this Tangu can stay out of range, he still has a chance to win this match. We're coming down to about 4 minutes and 20 seconds left here, but we have 1 Tangu left for Shadow Cartel, 1 Sentinel, and then 3 Ishkars. So I mean, these Warrior 2s might actually become much more of a problem.
I could see that happening maybe, but I just don't think that's going to be a possibility. If it comes down to it, maybe perhaps the Proteus can start shooting off drones that are aggressing them. Just allow these Ishkars to be a non-entity as they slowly lose drone capacity. And I don't think the Tangu can do enough damage to push the Proteus down. Look at how slowly he's taking armor damage.
Yeah, I mean, this Vindicator really is kind of useless at this point. I mean, he can't keep up with this Tangu running his MWD on the Vindicator. He's going to cap out. I mean, he's being sensor damped. And we just saw him do a 90-degree turn. I'm not sure if he's going to try to cut off the Tangu, maybe.
Yeah, I think that this is obviously a variation of the standard Vindicator assault frigate setup that we've seen work so well. I actually don't know if I like Proteus instead of the standard setup.
Yeah, I mean, Proteus is a lot of points, but they do have quite a bit of tank in their lows there.
Mm-hmm. I think all around, like, it's going to be victorious, obviously, with only 3 minutes left and a huge points lead with the 20 points of the Vindicator. But especially with this Sentinel almost in structure, if that drops, or any of these ships, yeah, and there's the web on the Sentinel, will almost certainly be dying quite soon.
Yeah, we still have a lot of Warrior 2s for Shadow Cartel on the field.
That Proteus is dropping. I would like to see these Proteus start shooting off the drones on them.
The Sentinel did just die.
Yep, and another web on the Ishkars. These frigates are obviously getting in close on the Proteus and the Vindicator to try and rob what they can and even at the points. But with Percussive Peacetime Diplomacy at 72 points and Shadow Cartel only at 48.
Well, I mean, it really comes down to they have 1 Tangu left. That's their main DPS, and just the huge amount of EHP buffer that these Proteuses have on the armor.
Mm-hmm. And there goes an Ishkar. With only 2 assault frigates left in a Tangu, this match is essentially sealed.
Yeah.
They had a chance maybe a while ago.
Yeah,
but
maybe if they kept at least 1 more Tangu alive, they would have had DPS to chew through these Proteuses a lot quicker. Well, they would have had a lot more DPS to chew through these Tangus. But we're coming down about 2 minutes left in the match.
Yep. Afterburning Tangus are known for their survivability and high tank, but they're just, I feel like their DPS is too low, even with the force protection. If these had been ham Tangus or something similar, then we would have seen a real brawl. It would have been a little less up to pilot skill. It's hard to brawl against the Vindicator, but I do love ham Tangus.
Yeah, I mean, looks like these Proteuses are fitting neutron blasters. Vindicator fitting neutron blasters. So I mean, tons of DPS on both sides, or for the blasters especially though.
Yeah. The Proteus about to drop into structure, start leaking structure actually, with only 1 minute and 30 seconds left on the match. Now, you obviously Shadow Cartel was well known for their performance last round with their full rush blast off team. What team do you think would have been an effective team to field against these 3 Proteus and the Vindicator?
3 Proteus Vindicator. I have to say probably a double Vindicator setup would have done quite well, but they have no logistics. I think logistics would have made a huge difference if one of the teams brought a close-up setup with the 2 Vindicators and like an Eros or Damnation.
Yeah, the Tangus are just relying on not getting caught, and the strong webs from the Vindicator, and the massive number of assault frigates that were able to lock down the few Tangus early, I think swung the match. We see some structure leak from the Proteus. It may drop, but even with it dropping, the match will still be sealed for Percussive Pizza Time Diplomacy. And we get to keep saying their name.
Yeah, we're down to under a minute left in the match. I don't think they'll be able to catch up with this Tangu, so they're not going to get full points for this match, but Pizza will be able to take this match.
What's your favorite kind of pizza, Laz?
I'm just a straight pepperoni guy.
That's a wimp. I like some olives, some ham, maybe some mushrooms on there. And the Proteus goes down, losing a level 5 skill almost certainly.
Well, I'm quite impressed that, or not really impressed, but in all that they don't have damage controls on these Proteuses.
That's actually super impressive. The Ishkur in low armor. We're going to probably seal this match with another 10 minutes.
10 seconds.
10 seconds. Another 10 minutes would be quite a wait.
Yeah.
And we will send it back to CCP Soundwave in the studio as this match wraps up.
Yep, we're out of time. Match is over. Pizza will win on points. The Tangu and Ishkur staying alive for Shadow Cartel.